It's a wrap.
Expose us all.
It's a fucking wrap, dog.
Oh man. I'll be real with you. We didn't choose a topic, did we?
Not really. No.
Essentially, at the end of the day, we will be talking about good vices versus bad vices, and how it relates to addictions and how people cope with it. Right?
Yeah.
Pretty okay. Dope. Yeah. You know what? What was because we had obviously talked about this previously,
Yeah.
but due to some other issues we couldn't quite air it. But what was you had brought up a very good point in regards to the definition of what was it?
Oh, a vice.
Vice. Yes.
The word, like, what shocked me about the word vice itself is because of just how it comes up in casual conversation, sort of. I mean, depending on who you're talking to, I guess. But like, some people they kind of correlate vices with habits almost, but if you look up the actual definition, it's like a deficiency in one's character, like beyond addiction, like
Yeah.
dealing with a bad vice is you're down there. You're way down the rabbit hole at that point.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that was interesting because it just some people like to play with the word like it's a bad habit or something when really it's something that's really harmful to you.
Yeah. As far as vices, you feel like they're needed?
I feel like it's hard to stay away from not having a vice at all.
Okay. I feel that. That's probably something that's naturally walked into, huh?
I mean, I feel like we're not perfect, and and everybody is different, but I feel like everybody has something maybe about themselves that, I wish I ate better. I wish I exercised more or something.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't procrastinate as much. Just something about oneself that there's a vice holding them back from overcoming that. But it's like it's very hard to not have a single one.
Yeah.
Because that would, inevitably be perfection. Not having a single deficiency with yourself.
Right. So, essentially, what we're coming to the conclusion is a vice is pretty much saying you are lacking.
Yeah, there's something holding you back for sure.
Are lacking. You need some help, buddy. Nah, but I mean, see, the thing is, when this topic was brought to my attention, the good vices versus bad vices, I was trying to think, and good vices, man, it's hard to really get a list of them, because I mean, there's you are really onto something, Cole. There is exercising. There's one could say sleeping, but that's just that is, I feel like that's a lazy habit, and just an excuse. Yeah, an excuse. There we go. I feel like that's an excuse. And when you look up, let's go back to Google. God dang, good old trusty Google brings up a couple of quote unquote good vices. One is sleeping in. It says go ahead and hit snooze. That is interesting, and you might miss a couple things, aka work.
Late.
Yes, smoking marijuana, which, honestly speaking, how you feeling it?
As a pot smoker myself,
We're not trying to incriminate here. We're just getting different perspectives.
I feel like everything is good within moderation.
Yeah.
At some point in time, something becomes more harmful than it does become helpful, and I feel everybody has their own reasons for doing what they do.
Yeah.
Weed itself or marijuana, it has its pros and its cons, and a lot of that does with, you know, if you're abusing it, recreational use, medical use, like.
In moderation and for the
Mhm.
right purpose type thing.
Yeah. But as far as it being a good vice necessarily, I wouldn't exactly go, I mean, recommending people pick up that habit if they don't
Yeah.
already, you know?
See, I feel like there's a thin line to where it turns into a crutch as far as the people using it to as a getaway and escaping the, I guess I could say, issue at hand. Because at the end of the day, it's still going to be there when you're sober.
Yeah.
You sober up. And matter of fact, it actually probably is going to be worse because you let it sit, in my personal opinion. Because, I mean, some things are time sensitive. Be like, oh, shit, the pot's burning. And then, like, you smoke. Next thing you know, you come back, the shit's melted. Like, that's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. But, I mean, to each his own. I'm not knocking it. You know, some people need it for, you know, sleeping purposes. I've never really believed in the need it to eat thing because it's like that only became because you kind of forced it to become, in my personal opinion. Unless you're just like straight do not eat it, like in general, smoking or not. But if you ate before you smoked, I feel like smoking became that that train track for you, so to speak. But I mean,
Man, I don't drink milk anymore. You know,
okay.
not very often, but
I'm
a
intrigued.
glass of chocolate milk after about, you know what I'm saying?
I can imagine.
Tunnel vision. I'm staring at the bottom of the cup.
I can imagine. Okay.
That's a very bad vice. We don't drink chocolate milk anymore.
Speaking of bad vices, on the list of good vice, it says snacking on candy. Now we're just gonna go ahead. Okay, biting your nails, drinking out. Yeah, we're just gonna
Yeah.
cut
They're
this list.
trolling.
Don't go to Google for vice advice.
They're definitely
Vice advice. Yeah.
Vice
yeah.
advice.
Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna nix nine that one. But yeah, bad vices, man. What do you feel like is a bad vice that people don't typically think about?
A bad vice that you don't typically think about. Definitely with bringing up, you know, what's, you know, there's a lot of negativity in the world, right? Especially going on right now. And I feel like a bad vice that a lot of people don't pay attention to, is just paying attention to that a lot more than yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that affects people in a way that they don't really realize until you're making excuses for yourself based on what's going in the world, when the world, I mean, it's the way that it's affecting you is only in minor increments, you know, like.
Yeah.
But because you pay attention to it, it's almost like it affects you so much more because you're now relating stuff that could be avoidable in your own life if you did things differently, but you're using what's going on in the world as that excuse. And I feel like people pay attention to what's the negativity way too much, and it starts to just hold them back, you know?
Yeah. So I guess what I picked up from that was kind of subconsciously people are like, let's say, they're just going to sit down and watch the news. Subconsciously, that could be putting that negative energy in their mind type of thing. Which, I mean, that makes sense. Honestly, that makes sense. There's things of course, there's things that could physically harm you, but mentally harming, I feel like that is subconsciously more dangerous than people are aware of or conscious of. Yeah.
You brought up a good point last when we previously talked about this was you know, people talking bad about themselves as well, and you know, just they go hand in hand with you creating this negativity around you. You become what you surround yourself with, you know.
Very true.
And just having that break, you know, between paying attention to what's going on here and there, just so you're aware, but also splitting that and actually understanding what's going on with yourself and with your own situation and how you can better and how you can avoid, paying attention to just straight negativity. I mean, that's all you're going to surround yourself with is negativity.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. But hopefully people become more self-aware of their vices, their go-tos and things like that to where they don't become a bad habit or uh a what am I trying to say? A hindering addiction.
Mm.
Because I mean, like we said, there are good vices, like we talked about, like cleaning, for instance. People cleaning might be a therapy to them, and then shoot, I'm OCD. They never. It can always be cleaner.
Yeah, yeah.
It can always be cleaner. More clean. I'm pretty sure both of them are words, actually.
Yep.
And yeah, so there are positive vices, but one thing that you said previously that I did want to touch on, so we can get a little more direction towards this, is when we were talking about like the habit of smoking marijuana, things like that. That comes with a lot mentally. Cole, we're gonna need you to get some organization to yourself here, bud. But yeah, that comes with a lot mentally, and having to cope with that. So, what do you feel like is, I don't know, let's go for top 3 reasons that people go to drugs and or things like that, like, because I mean, obviously, that you have the people that, oh, I just don't want to be here right now, or don't want to be in this mindset, in this mind and body. But like, what do you, let's go for top 3 reasons that a lot of people go to drugs. What you
Um,
thinking?
a big one I feel like is definitely pain,
Okay.
or like a lot. I feel like a lot of people use it to cope with maybe depression or something like that. But also people could smoke to calm down for anxiety or
Yeah.
there's a lot of harmful things that people use marijuana for, you know,
Hmm.
to cope with when it's not necessarily the healthiest option to cope because you are just prolonging the inevitable. You're gonna have to cross that bridge at some point, and escaping it by usage is not necessarily the healthiest thing that you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there are definitely different ways to deal with those things.
Matter of fact, let me see here. I love getting different people's insights on this. Now, when we go to handy dandy Google here,
Google is a million different people in one right there.
exactly.
You know.
But also too, I feel like there are differences in the age groups that use substances. Because I feel like younger people might use it different. Because there are older age range that do smoke.
Older age range.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like people, I don't know, 70, around that age. There's obviously, younger
Yeah.
people. They be smoking at like 14
Do you feel like that
sometimes.
has to do with like mm, environmental influence rather than them needing to like you think that's more of like peer pressure, in the younger ages to smoke. It's not necessarily like the older ranges, it's more medicinal in
Yeah.
most cases, in the in like midlife, that could be more people still coping with
Yeah.
anxiety or depression and everything. But in the younger ages, you mentioned 14, people smoking in schools and stuff like that. Could you say that is definitely more of like an environmental effect, that's going on in the world, or I don't want to say social media exactly, but just what's popular at the time.
Honestly, I was gonna bring social media into it because I feel like it used to be an environmental thing, but I feel like social media has such a strong influence now to where it doesn't even have to be an environmental thing. It's just they see it so much, and it's something that is constantly like celebrities do it, their peers do it, their parents probably do it, and they might think it's just a normal thing to do. Like they just pick it up, not necessarily because they were influenced, just because they're like, oh, just go for it. There may not even be any malintent in picking it up, for real, for real. But I also feel like it. That's crazy to me. I also feel like it's it people use it for. I mean, people tell me they're like, oh yeah, I just do it to have a good time, which I feel like is true.
Yeah.
I feel like it's true. Not everybody, but some people use that as an excuse. But I feel like a lot of people do use it to, I guess, heighten their good time. But sometimes, even then, when people do that, it's because they're also escaping things. Because that good time can be had, without being intoxicated. But if they're not intoxicated, maybe their mind is on something else, But as far as the younger influence, I don't feel like it's necessarily from the peer group anymore.
You brought up something deep though. You said about like your parents do it. That's deep when you think about kids at home, like, oh well, mom smoked cigarettes, so I just felt it normal to go buy a pack of cigarettes whenever I was able to, or they smoke weed in the house, so why is it so bad if I smoke weed? Their front mom does it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's deep when you think about it like that. That's real deep.
Yeah. So it's like people get into the habit so deeply. It's I don't know. It's I feel like they may not even view it as good or bad. It's just normal. But at the same time, for the people who know like health risks as far as doing it, being that marijuana, it's not any type of like hard drug. It's a plant. It's an herb. But I don't know. I feel like the way that it's taken in, via smoke, like we talked about last time, that's, in my opinion, that's just the same as a house burning down. Like people always tell you get low, till you get out that bitch, but lo and behold, it's if you hot boxing, that's just that's a hot house. Like that's a like just walk straight out. You'll be good.
Oh yeah, we were joking about it. Just send them in to get to them.
Yeah,
they just walk straight through that smoke. They've been
in
the car hot boxing all week.
Walking past your buddy, tap him in the chest, be like, you ain't got no lungs. Like
yeah.
Man, but yeah, like I don't know, but for the people who honestly, they call weed the gateway drug. Damn, that was some ninja move right there. But yeah, like they called weed the gateway drug, which, I mean, I've known a lot of people to try harder drugs. They don't always stick to it. But sometimes, it makes them curious as to what other type of intoxication or high that can bring. What type of out of body, out of mind experience they're gonna get, because there's different levels to the shit. But I don't know, man. How, like, do you feel like, which one do you feel is stronger, curiosity or the urge to get away from your problem so bad that you just need something more?
Curiosity definitely killed the cat.
It killed Eve and doomed mankind. So it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy.
So, but I also feel, like a person can also only fight but so long before they just start to pick it up for, to get away, like as a last resort. In my opinion, I feel like the curiosity leads a lot more to the negative. Well, I guess towards the progression of experimentation is what I'm trying to get at. I feel like curiosity is more so because then you get this answer, you're like, oh well, this is this, but then it kind of expands that curiosity, and it leads you to going down different doors. If somebody's doing it for themselves to get away, maybe that getaway is enough, for them to just stick with marijuana. You know what I'm saying? And they're just fine, just smoking, because that helps them with whatever they're dealing with. But if they're going into it with a curiosity mindset, I feel like that's what leads people to trying new things, because it just, once you find that answer, it's just going to broaden your mind. You want more answers.
Yeah. So okay, so we talked about a physical aspect and we talked about a mental aspect of things. So now comes the hard part. It's easy to pick up a habit.
Yeah.
But breaking that mofo, that is where a lot of people run into it. Yeah. A lot of people run into issues. Like, cause okay, so there is this one artist that I came across and I brought to the table, Tom MacDonald. Tom MacDonald. Now, we haven't gotten into, you and I haven't gotten into his music as far as the deeper things, dealing with, sobriety and mental difficulties, things like that. But it's pretty cool to hear some of the stories that people have going on, and like him just alone. Let me see, because there's a video that he made. Where he talks about the sobering up aspect of things, and a lot of people had a lot of different things to say on it. Let me just read an intriguing comment here. Somewhere halfway, because they definitely like to throw out their personal, some of their personal experiences. True. Where's it at? They have, wait. This one hits me. Yes, yeah. She said, my husband fought those demons. I spent a lot of time at his side at meetings like this, supporting him. On our way home from a meeting, he was killed by a drunk driver. How ironic. I didn't discover Tom's music until after his death, but I know this would have been his anthem. Let me see. And just like Tom himself, they're saying that he fell into, now this is going along the lines of sobriety as far as alcohol and drugs. It's saying that he fell into the drink and partying lifestyle pretty hard. This led to a mental breakdown. About 2016, he was sent back to his mom's by his best friend, who had found him incoherent. It took Tom almost a year to recover, and when he did, he changed his lifestyle and direction of his music. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like a lot of people have different experiences. Like, I feel like there's also different levels to it in regards to how quickly people cope and how strong mentally they are, because it's not like you can just up it. Well, actually, no, I'm not even gonna say that, because it's been done. Hell, my father did it. Up and just not up and quitting, smoking, up and quitting drugs. So it is possible. Yeah. But for some people, it takes a little more time than others. For some people, it happens, mid-range, couple months, a year. But that comment there really got me when she was talking about her husband making the effort to, you know, go to the AA meeting and break the habit, and then I don't know, the irony, it's sad irony,
Yeah.
but it just hit me a little different. I'm not even gonna lie. But that's another avenue that a lot of people like to take as far as breaking the habit is AA meetings, because it's like not all the time doing it by yourself. Not everybody's there yet. Not everybody's there mentally to be able to take that on.
Still denying they have a problem.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's
That
crazy.
recognition be the start.
I got a statistic for you, and this comes, let's see, ashleytreatment.org, and this is the drug addiction recovery statistics and relapse rates.
Damn.
In fact, 85% of individuals relapse within a year of treatment.
Okay.
85%, and this, and I mean, this might not be as strong as alcohol, but being that 85, you would think yourself, you know, I'm strong enough to just say no to something, you know, but some people aren't.
Right.
Know, some people really struggle with fighting those demons and fighting with those wants and needs, and it destroys their life, and 85% of them can't, even after a year of treatment, can say no. Like,
yeah,
that is a major hill. When you think of it like that, it must be a major hill, and it's you know, shout out to the people who actually make it through and stay sober, because you know, with that type of relapse rate, you know, like actually getting over that hill is just a tremendous battle, and my prayers go out to all the people that's fighting that, you know, because that's 85 is crazy.
Yeah. That's not a small number at all.
No.
At all.
No.
At all. And it's a lot like the mental and physical aspects, I feel, are different. Because of course you have the physical aspects. Some people go through like physical withdrawals. That should be crazy. I've seen it happen firsthand, and I'm just like, man, I mean, that's actually one of the reasons why I have not, because I saw it and I'm like, couldn't be me.
No.
I mean, I'm not making light of it, but shoot, that kept me away. I was like, bro, that looked like you got a goddamn fever. Like, yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Sickness is real, but it's like even people with sickness, that mindset. Man, one artist that I was introduced to, I'm gonna have to introduce you to him. His name is Rin. He is an artist from the UK. He deals with Lyme's disease. And when I tell you the way that the mentality that he has, the strength in to pick up and keep going, just in general, but the mentality that he has and how he changed up, you know, from well, you'll find out how he was just like distraught by the things that were going on. You know, he had or has, you know, he still maintains those and is achieving those dreams that he has as far as music, being an independent artist and things like that. But the mental aspect that he has overcome, that hill of changing his mindset to pretty much just make the best of life. And to stop sitting in that dark hole of where his mind was taking him to where his physical state is. But instead, you know, of course he has to deal with that. He has, I believe he's in Canada currently dealing with his medical situation, but like the type of music that he makes, like how he talks about it, how he describes it, it's like that mental battle sometimes, man, it'd be the worst.
It has to be.
It's the worst, because honestly, if you don't think you're gonna do something, 9 times out of 10, not if you don't think you're gonna do something. If you don't think you can accomplish something, you're not gonna act on it. You're not gonna act in a way that is going to convince yourself that you're going to do it, and you're not going to act in a way, in a pattern that's going to lead you to do it. But he's just one person that stood out to me as far as the not mental dedication. I've been saying that like crazy, but the mental training and the mindset changing that needs to be done. Because, I mean, shoot, you can physically stop all you want to, but if you keep thinking, oh, yeah, I want that, like, I might go back. Nah, I'm not gonna. Nah, if you keep doubting yourself, it's gonna come back around. That's why it's 85%.
Yeah, 85 is after 1 year is insane, and it's crazy you had brought up, you know, those, like, the thoughts and everything, because I'd seen this, the 3 factors that contribute to a relapse when I was doing this research were dangerous places.
Yes.
You know, where you being in familiar surroundings, you know, where say you always went to this bar, you know, and you just drink your life away in this bar. And your friends are in this bar that you love to hang out with, you know. It's just you're familiarizing that bar with that habit of alcoholism, you know. And then dangerous people, those people that are going to keep supporting that dangerous habit of you know, substance abuse. And then dangerous thoughts, you know, just even having that in your mindset of being around, you know, thinking about it and
kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost.
But yeah. I'm following you. But yeah. Cole, you just blanked my mind out.
We're going to get a zoom in on it.
Right. What's up, bud?
But I'm excited to hear this artist, you know, and just the mindset that he brings in, and you know how he coped with his situation. You know, Tom, you know, he, from what I've heard so far, you know, is these people that overcome these harmful vices. And
my bad. You try to box me.
He's really
right. He want all the smoke.
He said, "Y'all will not put me on another episode and see what happens."
Exactly. Oh man! All right, come be decent now. Okay.
They didn't know when they said this. When it said this one's for me, they meant Cole.
Yeah, exactly. This is really Cole's show.
They didn't realize that. You know,
oh
maybe
man!
Greets in your future, maybe. But
yeah.
But you know, these people who are strong enough to overcome those are heroes. You know, in people's eyes, and it just goes to show, you know, that people really, it's really hard, and supporting is real big.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of. I'm excited for this new artist because I know a lot of people are grateful to have encountered his music, and I'm sure he's helped a lot of people, and I'm.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like you got to thank all the people out there that don't speak on it. Because a lot of people out there will sit in that dark place alone, not speaking on it, and not have the willpower to not the willpower. That's a terrible word, but terrible wording. But the strength and the almost not determination, but thinking that it's possible. They won't have the belief. Yeah, they won't have the belief to really push themselves to do it. But being that there are others out there speaking on it, but he's just a very powerful influence that I came across. Him, Ren, and Tom MacDonald, definitely 2 super dope influences. But honestly, I feel like there is levels to it. I don't know. I kind of broke it down in my mind to where it's like there's vices. Then vices can turn into habits, then habits can turn into addictions. But it's like if you've already reached the, you know, level 3, then it's like you got to bring it down slowly. Like you got to bring them addictions down to habits to where, you know, you're slowing it up. And then you got to bring it down to a vice to where you go to it every now and then, you know, handle it from there. But I mean, like we said, there are good, there are good vices, there are bad vices, but it just depends on how you use them, how well you know yourself in order to even be able to discern what is good and bad for you. You know, um,
Knowing yourself and knowing your situation, knowing
hmm
what's pulling you here and what's stopping you from getting here.
hmm most definitely. But yeah, man. As far as vices go, there are good vices. There definitely are. You just gotta find your good vice. There are plenty of bad vices, but
Yes.
good vices out there. And as far as breaking addictions, just don't give up, honestly. Because giving up, yeah, of course you're gonna fail. But you're not the only one who has relapsed. Obviously, 85% of mankind has.
Yeah.
Like that's we're only human. We're only human, but definitely like I mean, I haven't had to go through any of like the harder drugs or alcoholism, but I mean some of my loved ones have, and I definitely try to help out in any way that I can and encouraging them, because you can talk down on a person all day, you can tell them why this is bad,
Mm.
this and that, but encouraging them, that shit hits different.
Yeah, that's support. You definitely find your support system if that's something you're going through. Definitely. Um,
Yeah.
I think I asked you this in the previous one. If you give the viewers, three positive vices, like or well, yeah, three vices, like something that if you're not already doing could help you. What would you give them?
Thinking.
Thinking.
Thinking. I feel like people don't think enough.
Mm,
Henceforth why common sense ain't common, but
that's the truth.
I feel like thinking, even if like thinking, because thinking is therapeutic to me, I like to think a lot, that's why I'm very in tune with myself as far as knowing the things that I will and won't do and can accomplish, and I'm not even going to say can't accomplish, but not accomplishing right now.
Mm,
But I feel like thinking is a very healthy vice, because as you know, I say this time and time again. You've heard it several times through this podcast. You'll hear it several times through others. I feel like knowing yourself is probably one of the most important things that you can ever do in life.
mm,
That's how you're gonna know your happiness. That's how you're gonna know. Um, I don't know when's the right time for you to do things, but also exercising. Exercising is definitely one good vice that I always encourage and support. As far as the third one, we'll mm, maybe mm, okay now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie to
we
you. That's it's
we brought this up at the beginning about people, unfamiliar one that people don't really bring up in terms of bad vices. Paying attention to the negativity and kind of bringing that negativity into your reality and causing your reality to revolve around the negative.
yeah.
And I feel like just to drop that third one, just focusing on less of the negativity, more of yourself, and leading towards positivity.
Right.
I feel like that could be something that people could start picking up on. I actually listened to this who was it? I think it might have been a podcast or a radio show. But Waka Flocka was on there, and he was talking about how a lot of people nowadays are in survival mode.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
when you're in survival mode, you start to act on animal instincts. A lot of people don't know how to live. They're
Yeah.
not living; they're surviving. I mean, a lot of that has to do with environment and everything. But me personally, I also feel like a lot of people focus on the negative to where they feel like they just can't live. They have to survive because it's just so much negative going on. But if you really focus on yourself and your situation,
Yeah.
there's tons of opportunity to steer clear of negativity,
Yeah.
and bring about the positives that you can bring.
Yeah. That's a simple advice of a simple example of good versus bad vices. A bad vice someone might use, like was brought up before. Someone might naturally go around people. They need to be around people. If they're feeling stressed out, sad, they just put themselves around people. And that could turn faulty because they might put themselves in either risky situations or around the wrong crowd. Something, and it's not even necessarily that they'll, encourage them to do bad things, but it's just like it's not necessarily who they need to be around. But because a lot of times the people who are benefiting you, who will benefit your life and support you, and that you actually benefit from being around, you're not around all the time because they're not doing anything. They're busy. They're working on their lives. They're working on themselves. That's why it's good to be around the people who are working. But a lot of people will just be around people just because they feel like they need to. But also, the better side of that, the good vice is, sometimes that solitude. It's not good OD because, you don't want to be, psych yourself out or anything.
Yeah.
But having some alone time is necessary. Just to vibe out, know yourself. You can have fun with yourself and listen to music at home and shit. Like that should be fun sometimes.
Definitely.
But yeah, man. I feel like it's a dope concept, dope accomplishments, and just learning yourself to where you can know your good and bad vices and just growing from there, and always keep pushing as far as making those addictions down to habits and those habits down to vices, and dealing with it from there, because breaking addictions is not easy. So like you said, man, prayers up to anybody that's dealing with it, and anything above. So other than that, man, how you feeling about it?
I'm feeling like the tennis ball. I'm rolling.
Yep. Yeah, we rolling, man. Another fantastic episode of This One's For Me, because guess what? This one's for me.
Peace out.